Hello, peoples of the tube, and welcome back to that spoopiest of times. It's Halloween. Ooh, it's exciting. So, if you saw last week's video, which I recorded seconds ago, you will know exactly what this week's video is because I told you. I've been searching the internet for a scary story to tell you all. I need something that's truly, truly spoopy. Spoop and chill you. Just give you the chillblains. Right in the spoopies. I don't know what I'm talking about. I found a story. It's scary, it's spoopy, it's terrible. It's welcome to this video where I tell you a story. This story is called, let me just get it back up again. This story is called Freddy Spaghetti. I know that it's already scary, isn't it? Freddy Spaghetti. I do not know who wrote this. There isn't a name attached. Or is there? Let's have a look at the bottom. No, I don't know who wrote this. Okay, Freddy Spaghetti by scarily unknown person. It could be anyone. It could be me. It wasn't me. That's the only thing I know is it wasn't me. I wish I did write this because it's brilliant. I've had a little read through of it. I'm not reading it blind, but this is a good story. Isn't nice? You know what? This is like Ohmydinosare Story Corner, but way spoopier. And we'll analyze the story as we go. Possibly, I have some things to say about it. It's well, we'll see. Let's get down to it, shall we? Freddy Spaghetti. Who here likes spaghetti? Well, I know someone who loved it, but he was bullied every day. Because not only did he love spaghetti, he was obsessed with it. He made noodle necklaces with meatballs on them. He brought bins of Parmesan cheese wherever he went. I found him very strange, yet he seemed to like it. His name was Freddy. You might think I put that pause in there for dramatic effect. There's a comma between his name and was Freddy. I am following the script verbatim for the time being. Freddy was pretty normal in high school. Was he though? Or was he obsessed with spaghetti? Because these two things, like, I know I'm the last person to say what is and isn't normal. I get that, but I feel like that's not normal. But okay. Freddy was pretty normal in High's Schule. Little space there between the S and C of high school instead of, high and... Don't worry about it, it's fine. High's Schule. I was one of the only ones who was his friend. I want to tweak that a little bit dramatically. Everyone else either steered clear away from him or teased him. Do you know what they called him? No, because you've not read the story. They called him... You might have guessed this, actually, because it's the name of the story. They called him Freddy Spaghetti. I found it kind of fitted him. Yet the way they called him by the name, it was harsh. They'd mock him with other names to like. I think that should be it. They'd mock him with other names too. Like Noodle Boy. And Meat Nerd. What? That's a terrible nickname. I find them both stupid. Yeah, those are stupid nicknames. That's such... Meat Nerd. I guess meatball, but you've taken the ball out, it's just generally meat. Which, like, a lot of people eat meat. I'm not going to say everyone, because obviously not everyone does, but, like, it's common enough that meat specifically isn't really a teasable thing. I think. Meat Nerd. They called him Meat Nerd. That's great. That's my new nickname. It's not. Please don't call me that. Where was I? I found them both stupid. So anyways, he'd pull through with the bullies pretty well. But one day at school, I saw him walking down the hallway with his hoodie up. Dun dun dun! Literally, I just put that lightning break in so I could cough. I know the hoarse voice probably adds spookiness, but also it makes it harder to speak. I don't want to sound that hoarse. He never has his hoodie up, so I walked over to ask him if he was all right. You know, nice, casual, it's casual. Just trying to be a good friend. But instead of the kind, calm Freddy I was expecting, I got this snappy, angry one. He yelled at me to leave him alone, then stormed off. Rude. I just sort of stood there for a while, more or less because he snapped, but because what his face looked like, it was normal, except for one huge black eye. I haven't quite managed the black eyes. I thought they'd be darker. The thing I used didn't quite work. But yeah, imagine just one of these and blacker and bigger. He had one of them. One huge black eye, and the weirdest part was that it was covered in sauce. Spooky already, isn't it? What was the sauce doing there? Let's find out. The next day, I was sick, so I couldn't go to school, and I never saw Freddy again. The end. That's not the end. And the creepiest part is what everyone was saying when I got back. He killed them, and he's a freak. And when I asked them about it, apparently Freddy killed the gang of bullies who teased him the most. Then, one of girls on the soccer team who played after school that day got a hold of me. She said she saw everything. So she explained. Freddy had been sitting outside of the school making another one of his noodle necklaces. Yet to the girl he seemed more distant. He continued making the necklace until the gang of bullies came strutting up to him. There was three. Not there were three, there was three. A fat guy named Mike, a taller, skinnier one named Tom, and the one I hate most, Keith. The only thing I hate about Keith is how his name is spelled. Like, I always think of it with an E and an I. I don't remember which way around they should go, but there should definitely be an I in there somewhere. This is Keeth. That just looks terrible. Sorry if your name is Keith and it's spelled like that. Sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it. It looks too much like teeth. So why would your name? I've still got that toothface guy stuck in my head. That was kind of gross, wasn't it? From Doctor Who. That's not relevant. Let's move back. The thing about Keith, he's a tall guy too. Pretty tough looking. He's got reddish hair and the creepiest shade of green eyes you've ever seen. Not like mine, which are a very pretty shade of green. This is a creepy. I should have gone creepy green because it's Halloween, and that's your poem for the day. And he's a jerk. Nothing more, nothing less. That's the one defining trait, is that he's a jerk. Okay, you got that? It's important. I'm going to be testing you on this later on. So they strut up to. They do a lot of strutting, these bullies. I quite like it. It's nice. They strut up to Freddy, and do you know what they did? They took his necklace and ate it. I suppose most people saw this coming, but Mike snatched and stuffed it down that hog of face he has. That's my new favourite insult, that hog of face he has. Yeah, it's nice. Freddy stood up. That huge black eye he had seemed to show ever bigger than before. Well, so the girl says. I don't understand why you need the girl to be telling. Why don't you just have the narrative be that you were there? And I know it's because it's a true story. It's just throwing this out there. This is not a true story. I don't think. I'm pretty sure this didn't happen. Anyways, he stood up, grabbed Mike by the neck, and choked him. And, like, not in a sexual way either. I almost didn't believe it when I was told this, but I kind of had to. But he choked him until that noodle came out in a puddle of vomit. What? What? I still don't believe what he did next, but at the same time I do. It just sounds so much like one of my asides, but it's not. That's what it says. I didn't believe it, but at the same time I do. He stuffed the vomit-covered noodle into Tom's throat and forced his mouth closed before. So he took the vomit noodle out of Mike and he's put it into Tom. Just let's clarify that because this confused me earlier. And forced his mouth closed before snapping his neck like Superman and having him fall to the ground. Dead. Then he looked at Mike and grabbed a meatball from his bin. Now, you see, I thought it was Parmesan cheese he carried in the bin, but apparently now it's meatballs. Make up your mind, Freddy Spaghetti. Grabbed a meatball from his bin and chucked it at his head. I swear that meatball must have been rock hard, because when it hit Mike, it made the loudest cracking noise. Now, this is the point where the writer thinks, hold on, I wasn't there. How do I know what noise it made? Uh-oh. Let's tweak this story slightly. Let's go off on a tangent, because the girl on the soccer team said she couldn't continue. Obviously, the rest of the story is too distressing for her, which is why she filmed it. Yes, that's right, guys. Had a bit. Sorry, I need to read this. This next sentence is so glorious. I don't want to overshadow it with my riffing. The girl on the soccer team said she couldn't continue, but had videotaped the rest. That's right, she had videotaped the rest. A bit pathetic, I thought, but I watched it anyways. I saw the meatball being thrown at Mike, and I heard it, the loudest crack of his skull being broken. I stared in horror as Freddy pulled out a small box of sauce. I couldn't imagine what he was going to do. What's he gonna do with the sauce? Oh, you'll like this. You won't. I don't know. He took the sauce and rubbed it in Keith's eyes. I'm kind of glad that's where it went, to be honest. Before digging his hands into his eyes and gripping the eyes. There's a lot of eyes. Rubbed it in Keith's eyes before digging his hands into his eyes and gripping the eyes. At this point, I threw up. Well, I kept watching it. You know. Once I was ready to watch the rest, I played the video camera, and what Freddy did last was the worst, most disturbing thing I'd ever seen. He grabbed the bin of meatballs and took two and put them where Keith's eyes were supposed to be. Then he removed the other two's eyes. They were just standing there waiting casually while he pulled out Keith's eyes, and then he just casually pulled their eyes out too. It's a sort of casual thing, normal school activity. This happened when I was in school all the time. He removed the other two's eyes and did the same. At this point, I threw the camera. I thought I was going to say I threw up again. At this point, I threw the camera to the ground. I was told Freddy ran off after that. Well, actually, specifically, I was told Freddy ran off after that. Ran off after that. He didn't run off after that. He ran off after that. I know it's maybe me getting a bit too worked up about a missing F after all of that, but I feel like this warrants mention because it's not that. It could have done with a proofreading, really, I think. Yeah, so he ran off after that. But then, here comes the spooky ending. I hope you're prepared for this. This is really scary. But then, as I was walking home after school, about a week after it reopened after cleaning, I saw something under the bench outside. I walked over, and it was a bloody, vomit-covered noodle! So that was Freddy Spaghetti. That took me a quarter of an hour to read. I don't know how. Did you enjoy that? No? I don't care. I loved it. That was hilarious. What a great story. Does this count as Ohmydinosare Story Corner? Yeah. I'm gonna put it in the playlist for that. Ohmydinosare Spoopy Corner. That's what this video is gonna be called. So that was it. That was my Halloween video. Underwhelming? Last year's video was just me dancing to spooky, scary skeletons. I think this is slightly more effort. Maybe you disagree. However, come back soon. Hopefully next month I'll get going with Detectives 8. Otherwise, it's going to be a heck of a Detectives late. It'll be like a year after the script says it's set. It's just madness. Um, Thank you for watching. Come back soon if there is anything soon. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Cause I was Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde.
One of the reasons there's not been any videos recently, I had my hair cut recently, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And it was just a teeny bit too short. I felt I needed to, because I mean I had a play. I wouldn't have bothered otherwise. But not because I had a play. I've got like a top hat in my play, and when my hair is that sort of longer end of length I tend to let it get to, it just looked a bit too untidy under the hat. So I was like, let's get it cut a bit, and then that'll be it for a while. So yeah, but then it was kind of like, it's a bit too short now. So it's now grown enough that I have hair again. So that's nice. Why am I telling you this? You don't care. I'm always apologizing for my hair. That's like half my videos nowadays. But don't worry about it. This take-home message. Spooktober is spoop over now for everyone, because this is Halloween and after that it's November. The pumpkins are coming out of the... What's that? Is that here? Yeah, bye.